Hello, and welcome to a video about microtransactions. I know people don't like talking about it for some reason, and I know this channel's not big, and I don't even know if anyone's going to watch this, but I feel like everyone should kind of talk about this in some type of way. I'm not really a big fan of going to forums or shit, even though I fucking hate microtransactions. So 2 games came out this week, Shadow of War and Battlefront 2 beta. Battlefront 2's beta came out. It's not really a release, I shouldn't say that, and we got to see the functions of how bad these are going to be from now on, probably, if we let the game company get away with this. Now, a lot of people have stuck up for Shadow of War because they thought it was going to be very minor. It was just going to be for the alternate mode, kind of like the way Halo 5 did it for their game. They have like a game mode specifically for it, which you didn't play, and I didn't really play it a lot. I tried it out just to try it out. But I didn't really play it a lot, and nor did I really feel like I had to play it or get microtransactions, open up the loot crates to play it. I don't really like Halo 5 because of gameplay mechanics. It feels a lot like Call of Duty to me, and that's the main reason why I don't play that. But this is about Shadow of War right now, and we're gonna go and start with that. So it does look like a lot of the same. It looks like they just took the first game and they're like, hey, guess what we can do? Actually, I'm gonna turn on this volume a little bit. We'll lower him down like that, so you guys can have a little bit of someone talking. This is a PAX gameplay of when the game, before the game released or anything like that. So the game is very grindy. It looks, and it looks very repetitive, just like the first one was to me. A lot of people loved it. They thought it was great. I didn't. I saw a lot of faults with it. I mean, honestly, I probably give it like a 6 out of 10 at most. Probably a 5, honestly. It was pretty bad to me. And then they released this one, and it's more of the same. So a lot of people have been kind of complaining about that, from what I've seen from Twitch streams. And I've watched a lot of gameplay. I've seen a lot of people talking. And I really think people should not just not buy this game. And I feel like it's probably already happened. It's been 48 hours since the game's released, maybe even longer if I upload this video later. And I just feel like if we all just said fuck this game and don't buy it, it would really, and we did that Battlefront 2, it would really send a message to these gaming companies that we're not going to take this shit. And this game, so you're probably saying, well, I don't really think microtransactions are that bad in the game. Well, I mean, they kind of are. So you got these loot crates, which give you orcs, and it's level based too. So it's like whatever your level is, that's what you're getting, and it's like that through the game too. So, but you pay, we'll say $20 on top of the 60 already. That is you paying $80 for the game. Let's say you just wanted. Let's say you're stuck on a part. Like, let's say you're stuck on a part. You're trying to get the orcs to help you. You just can't keep an orc right now. They keep on betraying you. So yeah, orcs can betray you too in this, which is so fun. It means like, so let's pretend you grinded for 60 hours straight to get this one specific orc. And, you know, I'll lower the hours to 5 hours. We'll say 5 hours. You grinded. You got this one badass orc. And he's been so fucking good for you. He's been defending your base for you. He's just been with you. He's been your bodyguard, so I wanted to say, not defending your base. He's been your bodyguard. He's been with you. He's had your fucking back. You're almost done with this fortress, because each fortress you gotta take, and then you gotta go take another fortress. But you're almost done with this fortress. He's been by your side, and you're about to finish this fortress up and move on to the next phase of the game. And he fucking betrays you, and you lose him. And you have to fucking kill him. And it'll just be the most heartbreaking thing ever. I'm gonna mute this guy again because I hate hearing him talk, and they're acting like this game's fucking the greatest thing since Arkham City. So you got that aspect of it. So you played for hours, this orc betrayed you, you had to kill him. And then they got Iron Will in this game. And these are things I don't feel like these great reviewers that we have talked about. And I've just been watching people play the fucking game, and you can't talk to me about this and tell me how much this affects gameplay. So like, Iron Will is another thing that affects gameplay. It makes it so you can't re-get them back because you're too low of a level. Or, I don't know, I think it's level based. I'm not entirely sure if it just randomly pops up, because they'll just pop up randomly. And then you got the fact that it could happen when they betray you too. They could get Iron Will. It could be someone like, yeah, that's the reason why you just kill them. You can't just put them on your thing. So you can pay $20, get an orc. He'll eventually develop Iron Will. You can't get him back. So you paid money for someone. You paid him $20 just to kill something in a game where you've been killing stuff the whole entire time. So it's very pointless, and the game's very, very, very grindy. It looks like. There's this one streamer who's been just, every single time he gets any gold, he just buys like an XP boost, because it's really the best way to go, because the orcs will level up with you in the game. So there's really no reason to buy the loot crates until you get up to a higher level. And then on top of that, it takes a minute to level up. I mean, I think the first like 10 levels, maybe even 15 levels are pretty easy. Maybe even 20 are pretty easy to get through. But from what I've seen, once you hit about 20, 25, maybe even the teens, I feel like you slow down dramatically. But like I said, I've just been watching. This is from an outsider's perspective, so I will you can take this with a grain of salt. But it is facts that the Iron Will is in the game, and it is facts that they can betray you. And another factual thing is they can adapt. So when you're fighting an orc and they adapt to you, there's all these other fucking orcs spawning continuously, and it just looks horrible. So you're fighting these orcs, you're having to get separation, you fight him, the one orc that you're trying to kill, the captain you're trying to kill, or get under your control for your army, is adapting to you. Like you try to execute him, he adapts. You try I don't even know what else. I mean, you just keep on trying shit, and he keeps on adapting. You try shooting him with arrows, he adapts to it. Like, worst sort of thing, then he adapts. So it's just like a constant struggle, and then you got these fucking orcs continuously spawning. I don't remember the first ones. I don't think they continuously spawn. I think there was a lot, and it was very fucking frustrating and annoying, because they would come from like other areas of the map to get you, but they would never continuously spawn. I mean, it was very annoying in the first one, and now it looks like it's added to the grind for funsies. It's very weird. Like, you figured they would have built it. So I've read, I didn't really read completely IGN's review. When I want to make fun of a game, like, that's really bad, I go look at IGN's review of it, because it's normally very funny to look at their score, because it's usually totally fucking wrong from what the game really is. Unless it's like a low game. If it's like an indie developed game, they'll tell their honest to God opinion about it, because they don't have to worry about not getting review copies from that company, because they're an indie game. They should be grateful that IGN even reviewed the game. But Warner Brothers, on the hand, you say one bad thing about them, they'll fucking pull those review companies. And that's where I feel like these news media is at a disadvantage, because they want to be the first. It's always the first. If you're the first one out, bam, you're going to get read. Even if you're fucking wrong, you're going to get hit, you're going to get read, you're going to be there. And so I looked at the review, and I skimmed a little bit. I didn't really read it. It's 2 fucking pages about how great this game is. Who the fuck would want to read that? And this game just looks so fucking bad. But I'll continue about what they said. So at the end of the review, there's this little part where it says they did exactly what they did with Batman. They took Asylum, just like Asylum and City. They built upon the foundation and made an even better, great game. I don't see it. I really don't see it. So let's take a look at that real quick. So Asylum and Mordor did have something kind of in common. It kind of lacked. The story wasn't like a crazy great story. They were both. I actually hate Mordor's story, I'm not gonna lie, but I could see how you could be like, it was decent. Yeah, it was good. And in Asylum, I loved it, but I could see how you would say it was decent. It was good, so I could kind of see like how they would be evenly matched in the story aspect. So then you take a look at the stories of you take this city in war, and let's think about how they improved upon it. So, City actually hired a DC writer. It was a girl, my bad, sorry. I don't remember her name, honestly, but she wrote graphic novels, and she wrote the story for City, and it was fucking fantastic. But that aside, War is about... You're not even the main character, technically, of the storyline that's going on. It's about this girl and this guy and just some weird shit. It's not about you at all, really. I mean, you're just kind of like the background character, and you're kind of watching. If you've ever played Black Desert Online, that's what it's kind of like. That's what the main story is like. And it's kind of hard to explain, because like you're just like this background character kind of going and doing this shit as the main protagonist. I think it's the girl is progressing. I think there's probably something with you and the spider and the ring and shit, and it might get like elaborate on as the game progresses, but it's highly on them to enter in what they're doing in Mordor. And it's just fucking weird, because it really breaks immersion, because you're like, why am I looking at these characters? Why am I just following this storyline around? And then on top of that, you're just doing all the work too. So it's just like, what the fuck? They don't even acknowledge you're in a situation. They don't even acknowledge your existence sometimes. Like, you just be in the background and know how this conversation, and you're just there. Like, what the fuck? Like, you're basically like a stalker. I don't even know why you're in the game, honestly. Like, you should just, like, this game should have never been made from the story perspective. But the cutscenes are only like 30 seconds long, so it's like, and nothing really gets said. It's just like you're just kind of going through the motion of killing shit. It's just enough to keep, like, they're hoping to be enough just to keep you going to kill more shit. And that was the game. Like, that's all they want you to do, is just to kill, get orcs, kill, get orcs, kill, get orcs, kill, get orcs, rinse and repeat until you beat the game. And it's tedious on you, and it wears you down as a human being. Like, it's going to wear you down unless you pay money for loot crates. So, I haven't seen anyone make it to the end of the game yet, but listen, you fucking know, if a reviewer for Polygon and GameSpot, I think these were the two companies that did this, say it's a little grindy at the end, you fucking know. And I think they gave, maybe one of them, or maybe both of them, gave it a 7 on Metacritic. If they did, and that's like a big deal to them, because you don't fucking understand how many times they'll just give a game an 8, a 9, a 10, just to do it. Just to fucking do it. And the sad thing is, there are writers for these companies who won't do that. But they won't get assigned to these big budgeted games, because they know it will, I don't know if they think it will affect their relations. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it's really all IGN, Polygon, GameSpot. And GameSpot's been pretty bad sometimes, and so does Polygon. They've given games like crazy scores that they don't deserve. Game Informer. I don't know if it's really their faults, or if it's just the fact that they don't want to deal with the game companies, or if they just want to get these reviews out so fast that they don't finish the games. That's like my major concern, is that they don't really finish the games. They just say, you know what, we got to get this review out before everyone else, or right on time as everyone else, and we'll just say the story is good. We'll go based on what little story we have and say it's good. And gameplay, we're just gonna focus on mechanics to make sure the game works. Because the game looks like it works. Mechanics works fine. It looks like it's very fluid. It looks like it may have even built on the fluidity of the first one a little bit. But it still looks very repetitive like the first one. And it looks like you don't really feel like you're going anywhere. And even in the story, you're just kind of like aimlessly running around with no real goal, I feel like. Because like the main villain you don't even get to fight him or really have any encounters until the second half of the game. And then this one, you're building up your army and shit. And it just feels tedious. And I've seen that the loot crates you get in game aren't as good as the loot crates you pay for. So And this is from a Twitch streamer. He said that. He could be absolutely wrong. I mean, this is what I'm getting. And from what I've seen, it did look like he was getting a lot better shit. It could be bad RNG, but then if that's the case, you get better RNG when you're paying for the game. What difference does it make? You should just pay then. You should just say, hey, fuck it. I'll pay you $150 on top of the 60 I already gave you. Fuck it. I just want to beat this shit. I mean, you're going to have to level up, which, like I said, so let's go through a run-through of Shadow of War real quick. Just a quick run-through of the game. So you start the game, you hit level 15. Well, you know what, we'll be generous. You hit level 25, and you haven't really had a big issue yet. But you've been doing the same shit over and over again. Just kill a bunch of orcs, and an army of them spawn in over and over and over and over again. You kill them to kill the captain or take him over. And you've been doing that all game. But we'll pretend for a minute that these 20-second cutscenes where the frame rate drops to like 10 frames per second is worth it. And about not even your character is worth it. We'll pretend that's pushing you on, and you love the story, and you're enjoying it, and you're having the funnest time of your life. So you're having the greatest time ever. You're doing all this tedious fucking work, but you're enjoying it. It's great. 10 out of 10. Most fun you ever had in your life. So what I said, I think I said 25. Well, even if I didn't say 25, it's 25 now. So it's 25. You get 25. And it becomes very hard. It starts slowing down leveling up wise. And when the fortresses you're on, or something you have to take over, or maybe a boss you have to kill, is we'll say just a couple levels higher than you, but you're having a very hard time. Like your gear's not quite up there, your level's not quite where he is, your gear's lower than you. We'll pretend you had bad luck, and it's just hard, man. It's hard for you to fight them. So, what are you going to do as a player? Well, you're going to have to grind and do like side shit to level up, or just run around the map and just get random captains and hope that increases your level. You can destroy the captains if you don't like them. You can just recycle them and get gear from that. So you're just going to keep on doing that until you get a high enough level to actually fight whatever you're fighting. And then at the end of the game, this is just my theory, because like I said, I haven't seen it, but for the rest of the shit I've said has been proven to be true, that this game is a bunch of orcs will come at you at once and just continuously spawn as you're trying to fight a captain. So it's just a lot of work. But I mean, hey, if you like that, if you like if you feel like that's the way to be challenged in the game, I won't stop you. But I do feel like this is, if you pay for this game, you're saying yes, make microtransactions have something to do with single-player video games. I feel like Shadow of War is probably the most important game this year. A lot of people probably say Battlefront 2 because of the star cards, but it's not a single-player game. That shit has been going on for multiplayer games for a while now, and people just didn't care. You care now because the whole game's tied around loot crates. If Battlefront 2 was free to play, no one would even blink an eye. They removed the campaign and they just made it free to play. No one would even blink an eye to the microtransactions. They wouldn't even fucking care that much. There might be a little uproar because there's always a few people who can actually see these things for what they are, the greed, but majority of the masses would not care. It's like, oh, whatever, our overlord CA made a free to play game. They have to make money to pay the bills because they're a $1 billion company, and 1 million users paying $1 a piece would only get them $1 million, so they have to charge $20 per crate. So that's $20 million. I'm just going off right now. But anyways, so you're just gonna be grinding here, and if you buy this fucking game, you're pretty much saying, yeah, I want to fucking grind in my games. Or at the very least, you're saying I'm willing to pay money for microtransactions. Or I'm cool with loot crates being in the game, because I see a lot of people who are ignorant. They're like, well, I'm not gonna buy a microtransaction. I'm just gonna play the game and beat it. And the majority of games have allowed you to do that. So let's take a look at before I get there. let's take a look at the end of Shadow of Mordor. You get to defend fortresses. So, you're going to be running around defending these fortresses. I haven't seen the gameplay yet. I don't even know what it's like. But it's probably going to be a lot of orcs running at you, grindy as hell as you're just killing shit. So, you're going to be defending these fortresses. And you're either A, going to have to level up and get these fortresses with orcs that are good. Like, you're going to have to go run around and get your level up so you can get some good, better orcs. Or hope to God you get some, like, little micro, like, I forget what they're called, but there's things that you can use to upgrade your orcs to get them higher level. So you're going to have to hope to God that you get one of these XP boosts for your orcs. Or hope to God that you... I mean, this is a lot of hoping here. Like, I don't know why there's so much... I've never had so much hope in a video game before in my life. Like, I mean, this is like, on the level of, like, a loot crate in a free-to-play game, pretty much. They don't really call them loot crates in free-to-play games, I guess, because they don't want to associate themselves with it, because it's a lot of bad images. But there's a lot of, like, chests and other things in free-to-play games where, like, you roll them for shit that you need. And majority of it's cosmetic, actually. Like, for example, Smite, Dota, League of Legends. These are all MOBAs, but their free-to-play mechanics are based on cosmetic skins. They don't affect gameplay. It's not even pay to win in free-to-play games, and yet they're starting to bring this shit over into $60 AAA budget games. They're starting to bring over gameplay, pay to advance mechanics, pay to fucking advance. At least pay to advance, if not pay to win. So, you're playing this, you're at the end of the game. I know I'm getting off track a little bit, but you're at the end of the game, you're playing it. Your level, we'll say you're level 40. Because I think this guy's level 40 into fucking this thing. We'll say you're level 40, the enemies you're fighting, you'd be like, man, it'd be so much easier if my orcs were level 45. They can almost do it at like level 42, level 43, but they can't quite. Well, so you're going to be grinding around until you hit level 45, we'll say, to get these orcs, or maybe even 46, 48, because I don't know how, because like orcs will be lower level than you so much, so you'd be grinding to get these orcs at the level. I mean, it's fucking bad, dude. And you could use your gold that because you do get gold in the game, which is the currency, the made up currency in the game. You do get gold in it. But they want you to buy loot crates. This is what they want to do. They want you to buy your loot crates so, like, you could become an addict. And a lot of people don't think this is addictive, but it's extremely addictive. I've even been caught by a couple of games, and I've had to force myself to stop. Like, for example, like, I mean, I know a lot of people might not get this, but sports games, especially, like, Madden and 2K, like, it's very addictive to pay and be like, man... And these are two different things for me, because 2K is about my part. Like, you just want to cut out some of this grind. It makes it easier on you in 2K. Like, 2K, like, you're grinding to get your my player up, and you're having to constantly ask yourself, how much easier would it be for me to get this badge if I had a little bit more 3-point, if I had a little bit more mid-range, or if I could dunk more, or if I could lay up, if I had better steal, if I had this. You're constantly weighing these scales because it's so hard to get money. Like, if I just had a little bit better shooting, I could earn a little bit VC. You're constantly asking yourself this in these games, and I know they're sports games and they're for casual players, and so they can get away with it more, because the hardcore gamers don't really play them that much. They just kind of overlook them. And then Madden, you got Ultimate Team. You got these packs. They're cards. If you haven't seen them, you probably have. You got these cards. You open them up, the packs. You're trying to get elites. You want elites or legendaries. And you're just opening them up. And it's an addiction, because you're like, if I just open up one more pack, I could get it. Because you open up 5 or 6 packs at once, and you'll get one good item. And you're like, oh my gosh. If I open up another 5 or 6, I might get the card I actually want. And you just continuously do it. And it's bad. Like, especially when you get something... I want to say it's worse if you get something really good than it is to not get anything good at all in these games. Because if it fuels the addiction. Like, I can do it, I can pull it. I mean, honestly, I feel like they make I feel like the odds of you getting something good are actually fair. I know people think they're probably set up for you not, but I think the odds of you actually getting something that's decent, I would probably say, like, for example, let's say like you could sell for 100,000 coins in Madden. I think the odds are pretty good. I think they have like so many cards in there to do that. So like you could be like, wow, I can do this again, because if they want to reward you, so you'll keep on paying money. Because it's only a temporary reward. It's only gonna last you a minute. It's kind of like if you made an extra $100 today at work. It's nice. It's good. You're happy about it. You're happy you made the extra money. Like your boss said, hey, you know what? You did so good today. Here's an extra $100. You're happy about it. You're glad, but you're gonna use that money. It's gonna go towards this. Maybe something breaks in your house, I mean, I don't know what you could pay just $100 for a player, but maybe, it goes towards it. It makes your life a little bit easier. Oh man, I had the extra $100. Granted, I had to pay, I had to pay with my regular salary, what I was regularly making, to help fix it, but man, that extra $100 helped me have some extra breathing room this week. I'm good. It's A-okay. But I wish I did have more. And I know it's kind of like weird comparing real life to a video game, but that's kind of what they're adding these real life things to these video games to make more money. These gambling elements. So like maybe your brain can't even tell the difference subconsciously, if we're gonna be honest about it. Like, because these guys are fucking with us on a mental level right now. Like, it's extremely addicting. Like, and video games are addicting in themselves. Like, you play a video game, and you'll play for 3 hours. Like, most people that I talk to, they get work done before they ever play a video game. Because they know once they start playing it, they're going to be playing for 3 to 6 hours. Like, one of my friends, if he's got something to do that day, like, he'll do it and then he'll play video games. And then if he does play a video game before he's going somewhere, or if he has to meet with somebody or something, he'll have his girlfriend remind him, like, come out and be like, hey hon, it's 3:30, it's time for us to go. That's what happens, because we get so caught up in the game. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to play a video game or anything like that. It's just these companies know, like, once you get in the world, you're already kind of like an addict playing a game. And now they're adding these other gambling elements to it, to someone who already kind of has an addictive personality. And it's just making it even more addicting. Like, it's bad, man. It's bad. And I know I've gone extremely off topic, but I just wanted to talk about it because this is mentally affecting us as human beings. And, like, I mean, dude, I probably paid, oh my gosh, I don't even want to know how many hundreds of bucks I paid in Madden for fucking packs. It's probably insane. I don't really want to talk about it, honestly, because they actually have this thing called MUT Rewards. I don't know if they still have it now. I mean, I didn't buy Madden. I didn't really pay attention to Madden last year or this year, so they might have got rid of it. I wouldn't think they would, but they probably did get rid of it. But if they do still have it, it would let you go back and look at your past packs. I think 25, 15, and 16? Maybe? I could be wrong about that. Or maybe it's 15 and 16 you could go back and look at. And then I imagine you could look at 17 and 18 now, if they still have it. And I looked at my packs, and it was fucking insane. No, yeah, it was 15 and 16, because I opened up more in 25 than I did 15 and 16. I was like, man, I wonder how much I opened up 25 if they would have went that far back. But they didn't go that far back. And it was pretty bad, I think, for 16. I think 16 I opened up a lot. We'll just say a lot of packs. I didn't get the legendary mark, because they gave you specific rewards for hitting these different marks. I didn't hit whatever the premium amount would be, but I did get very high. And I think it was like 200 packs away or something. It was something very close. I was very close to it. It was extreme. And I mean, 200 packs is a lot, but I think it was like 1,000 packs to get it. It was something like I had to open up like 800 packs, and I think the game did count. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't think that game counted. I think one of them, I think 17 counted the packs you got from playing the game. I know this is extremely off topic, but it's just to show you, like, hey, man, like, everyone falls for this stuff every once in a while. Like, mobile games, AAA games sometimes. I mean, Madden was just a game, like, I thought, hey, why not? And it got pretty bad, and I'm not really proud of it. But here we are now in 2017, and they've put this shit in fucking story games. They made it easier to pay to advance. Even if, let's pretend for a second that this game was perfectly balanced, and it's not, it's fucked up, they want you to grind, but let's pretend that it was perfectly balanced. Just for 1 second, the gameplay was great, it had this great story, and the microtransactions were still here. It's bad, dude. Like, listen, they don't want everybody. They don't want everyone to buy microtransactions. That's not the goal here. People think, oh, I don't buy it. And this is what I was talking about earlier. I really think people are going to play this game and they're going to realize how grindy it is and they're just going to back off. But it's going to be too late when you actually give them the money. So here's the thing. If you buy a game for $60 and you don't pay for the microtransactions, it's going to get other people to buy the game. You're going to be like, yeah, it's a good game. Well, let's say someone like me buys it, and I'm like, yeah, all my friends said it's a good game. And this is just pretending this game was good, blah, 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 etc., etc. Let's say this game specifically was one of the first games to have loot crates in it. And they did it perfectly. They did it just subtly for these orcs in the online mode. And it wasn't like you could play it and you could get orcs like for these missions and blah, blah. And it was very easy. It wasn't too bad. It didn't really feel like a grind. The story was so good. It kept you interested, and you blocked out the microtransaction shit. Well, let's say I was like, you know what, man? I don't feel like going to do this mission. I just want to pay $5 and get this orc. Let's pretend it just costs $5 to get a chest, a really good chest. Well, if I paid $5 for it, I mean, you can imagine there's probably a lot of other people who pay $5 for it. Even though you, person A, did not buy these crates, but you did recommend the game to someone who may have an addictive personality. He's like, man, I want this one specific orc, and you're just like rolling your chest over and over and over and over and over again. And like I said, I know in my example I only paid $5, but let's say I do have an addictive personality. Actually, it's extremely hard for me not to buy microtransactions. It's probably one of the hardest things in my life. I can't even play Smite that much because I feel enticed to buy them, and I have it, and I own the game on I got the game on PC and Xbox, and I got to talk myself out of it on PC because I've already given them so much money on Xbox that I'm just like, I can't do that. So it's very bad for me. And if I paid, let's say, $100 for these orcs to get we'll say orc A again, just because I'm going with this, and I got them, I've already given the company $100, and there's other people out there who are just like me who'd give them $100 for specific items. And you got this, and it's gonna get worse. And you got these people who did it, and that's what they wanted. They didn't want you, person A. They've already accounted for you. They wanted your $60. They got you. You already fell for it, person A. They just wanted your $60. It costs. They already know that person A is gonna buy it and not get microtransactions. They're trying to get the people who are willing to pay for it. And you, person A, are going to recommend the game to a friend, and your friend's not going to tell you, hey, I paid $100 for microtransactions. They're not going to tell you that shit. They don't want to tell you that shit. They might not even be proud of it themselves. But they wanted it, and they thought it was worth it because the game was good. And they have these addictive personalities, and they're going to do it to make their lives a little bit easier. Or like you're telling them, yeah, man, the ending's really good. The ending's great. You gotta hurry up and get there. And they're like, oh man, he keeps on telling me about this damn ending. I'm just gonna pay $20, get these orcs, and move on. This is just an example. I don't think the game's really that good, honestly. I think the game's pretty shit. And from what I've seen, a lot of people don't like it as much as they were hoping. They were as much as they wanted to. Yeah, as much as they wanted to, because they were hoping it would be like the next 10 out of 10 great game. So here we are now. All these people have bought the game, and only like X amount of people buy microtransactions, but they spend a lot of money on it. So, person A's who bought the game and just played the game, you're not really helping by buying the game, not by buying microtransactions. You're giving them money. You are supporting them. And I don't want to hear shit like, oh, but the dev team's really good. They did a good job with the first one. I should support them. I'm just going to give them the money for this. No. You're not supporting the dev team. You're supporting the publisher. You never support the dev team. Trust me on this. The dev team will get laid off later. The publisher will fuck them over. Don't do this for the dev team. If you want to do something for the dev team, buy fucking Ninja Theory's game. Sonya's Hellblade. Don't even fucking play it. Even if you hate it, just buy it and keep it on your fucking backlog. Because that game was made without a publisher. That game was made independent. They were able to make gameplay, focus on gameplay, and not do anything. This shit right here, this whole thing where you can destroy the orcs, and you get armor for it, and you get this, all this gear that you see on here, every time they show you the gear, you get that by destroying orcs sometimes. I mean, it does drop in the game pretty frequently, but you could also get it just by, dude, you could hit 30, and just pay money on top of money on top of money on top of money on top of money to get all your fucking gear for 30. And I know this warning may go in one ear and out the other, but dude, listen, we cannot support this shit. This shit is getting worse every fucking year. And I feel like what you gotta think about is, you're probably thinking like, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal. It's not going to get too much worse. These game companies take years to develop these games. At least 3 years. So this means they plan on doing this from the very fucking start. So next year, when these games are released, how bad do you think it's going to get? These game companies are probably already planning for worse. They're going to see this right now. They're about to start development of a game based off of this game. Based off of Star Wars Battlefront 2. Based off of Destiny 2. Everyone was hating on Destiny 2 for their microtransactions. This is worse. Battlefront 2 is worse. These are worse mechanics. And I'm not saying you should buy Destiny 2. But these are worse, though. These are worse because they affect the game. They can speed it up. These are things that are not good for video games. They're bad. Because eventually this will lead to locking off content. Like, oh, you can grind for 20 hours doing the same repetitive shit, or you can pay $10 and progress past this stage. It's bad. This will lead to a crazy amount of microtransactions. It's going to get worse. This will never get better. They're going to push the envelope more. They're going to try to make it worse. They're just going to keep on trying to make it worse every year. They're not going to try to make it better. They're not going to do that. It'd be stupid to do that. You're making money off of these morons. Keep on making money off these morons. That's probably what they say about us. They say these fucking idiots are buying our games. We keep on making money. We're going to make it worse because we need more money. We want more money. They don't really need more money, but they want more money. At the end of the day, they just want more money, and that's probably why they lay off some of these developers. Because at a certain point, they're in the field for so long, they start making more money, and they're like, oh fuck that, we're cutting your ass. We only made $1 billion this year. You think we can afford to keep you on for a measly like? We'll pretend that they made 100,000 this year. That's probably very generous. They probably made only like 50K in certain job fields, or 40K. Maybe even 20K. Some of them are probably interns. Probably get paid. They probably just got a job for 6 months. They probably got paid for only 6 months of the work. They probably interned for a year, and in the last 6 months of the game development, they got paid, and then they got cut right after the fucking game release. So just don't do it. You're not helping the fucking game industry. You're making it worse. These game companies are greedy. They don't even care about the dev teams. They just want to make more money. They know what the most important thing is, and that's the engines. That's what they're working on. They're working on the gaming engines. They want the engines to be... in their perfect world, they would love to have 5... They want to make these engines so good, so like only 5 people only have to work on the game. that would be their dream. The only problem with that would be the artists, because artists have to make all their character designs. But they'd probably be cool with that. They'd probably only hire like 20 people or less than that. I don't know how many that. They'd hire the minimum amount of artists they need to design, maybe 2 or 3, and just have them crank out fucking characters all day, every day, different designs. Get it done or you're fired. And if you quit, well, guess what? Because of our engine, because there's not that many people, because there's so many people in the field now, we're just going to hire someone new out of college or someone who's just been working online or something. We're just going to hire someone else to replace you, because it's easy. And their goal was just to fuck over these developers, dude. The publishers do not give a fuck at all. They just want to fuck them over. The money doesn't even really go to them. They've already been paid before the game releases for the most part. And then, like, some of their bonuses are trying to fucking Metacritic, for crying out loud. It's stupid. So, like, you people who are downvoting on Metacritic and bought the game for publishers, you're fucking moronic. It doesn't even, like, do anything. The money goes to the publishers. The publishers take the money. They'll cut, like, if they'll just cut. Like, if you don't buy the microtransactions, they'll probably just cut the staff to make up for that. So you're hurting the very people you're trying to help. Just don't buy the fucking game. Trust me, these developers will find more work if you don't buy these games. And these publishers had to make Witcher 3 type games all the time. They would have to bring these developers back and hire more staff to make these type of games, probably, and give them more time. So really, you would be helping the game industry by just not buying these games at all, just by letting it ride the course out. I know I rambled on a lot, but these games companies are getting more greedy every day, and the developers, I feel bad for them. Not all of them, because I feel like some of them are in cahoots. I really do think, and maybe this is one instance where they're in cahoots with Warner Brothers. They're not all innocent little kids tagging along with daddy. Some of these developers, they're at fucking fault for this shit, too. Like, trust me on this, they're at fault, some of them. And maybe a few people on the development team say, no, I don't want this shit in my game. But it doesn't matter, because the publisher is paying for their bills, their family, and trust me, just don't buy this game. Just don't fucking do it. They're gonna fuck over the developers one way or another. Take a look at what was it, Riot Games, not to be confused with the other Riot, that League of Legends. Holy shit, how the hell was that hard to say? Yeah, they got laid off right after BioShock Infinite. Right after BioShock Infinite. They laid off people. Why would they do that? You supported the game. It was a good game, actually. They bought a shitload of copies of that game. But guess what? They had to lay off people because they didn't make as much money as they needed to. I mean, I guess. I don't know what the fuck happened. They just laid off people. I guess because the publisher didn't want to pay them more or something. Or maybe they cut them off because maybe they just fired everyone because they knew they could just rehire everyone when they actually started making a new game. The publisher, I mean, not the development team. Who's ever in charge of development teams? I feel so fucking bad for that guy, because he probably gets all the blame for hiring and firing people, for just firing people, and then because like he probably fired them all because they were working on DLC and they didn't need that big of a team, and the publisher wasn't willing to pay for all of them, so he had to fire people. And then, whenever they do start developing a new game, they're going to hire totally different people. And if they do bring back one or two of the same people, I'm glad that those people were able to get a job again and provide for their family. Or even if they have a fucking pet. Listen, I feel bad for animals. I like animals. You shouldn't have those animals starving. I mean, damn. I mean, this is fucking horrible here, man. Some people have to give up their pets. So, and animals bring people happiness, so there you go. But I know that's totally irrelevant to anything, but the whole like hiring and firing thing, they do it for seasons. They do it for like how many people they need to make a game. So by buying this game, you're saying, hey, you can have a small development team, just fill this thing with a ton of microtransactions, and bam, fuck over the developers even more. Just in the long run, this will not buying these games will help the industry because they'll have to hire more people to make better quality games, and it will just help the industry grow. I mean, right now, the short-term effect, it would fuck them over. But don't think about the short term. Think about the long term of video games. Think about think about the next game that comes out. Like a great ideal. The next great ideal that it's gonna get fucked over because we bought these games. It's gonna be something original, something great, something new, and they're just gonna fuck it over microtransactions just because we said yes right now, today. And this is just a stand we gotta take. We gotta say no more. We don't want this shit in our video games. Which, granted, Battlefront 2 doesn't have a season pass because you're gonna pay for it through your microtransactions. You're welcome. And it's probably gonna be like 10% of the money they get from that, if that. The rest, I mean, they're probably gonna make. If people do buy the game, they're probably gonna make like $500 million off of the microtransactions, like a week or something crazy. They usually pull out these crazy ass numbers, and then they try to hide it from us because they don't want us to know exactly how much they're making, because they know we know they're fucking lying. And I think Halo made it was like 500 million a day or some shit like that. They were making like 500 million a week or something. It was something crazy, some crazy ass numbers. I even couldn't believe it. And I knew it was gonna make a lot of money. But here we are today with microtransactions and AAA games that are paid to advance. I know this video is very long, a lot of rambling, but we all gotta just take it apart. Tell our friends, don't buy this shit. I've already talked to my friend about it. I told him, don't buy this shit. And we talked about Battlefront 2, and I said, don't buy this shit. Don't buy this shit. Just don't buy this shit. Don't even buy it on sale, honestly. Unless it's honestly, I'd probably put you on a year probation from this game. Because at least a year from now, they would be like, hey, at least a year from now, they would have already probably started development of the good game, so maybe it would be okay. But, I don't know. I think this game should just be permanently not bought. But, whatever. It's just a random guy rambling about stupid shit. So I wish you guys luck, and I hope the gaming industry does get better.